Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie. I'm Long Island's eating disorder specialist, and I post on this channel twice a week all about eating disorders, body image issues, and general mental health. So if any of that is interesting to you, definitely consider clicking the subscribe button down below. While you're at it, scroll down and subscribe to my email list. If you do so, at the beginning of each week, you'll receive a newsletter from me. I let you know what I'm putting out that week, but an added perk is I create resources to go along with many of my videos. So at the beginning of the week, I will be sending those to you so that you can use them when those videos roll out to get the most out of them. In today's video, I want to talk a little bit about what comparison is, but also I'm going to give you 5 ways to help you to stop comparing yourself so much to others. So first, let's start by talking about what comparison is. So when we're talking about comparisons in this video, I'm talking about social comparisons, comparing yourself to others. Now, there are 2 types of this social comparison. There's upward social comparison and there's downward social comparison. Upward social comparison is when you compare yourself to people that you perceive are better than or have more than in some way, shape, or form. Downward social comparison is when you start to compare yourself as though you are better than and they are not as good as you. So both of those can be very toxic. However, both of them also have their place. So with regards, I'm going to briefly go over that because comparison is not completely the most evil thing. So upward social comparison, that could be positive. Let's say you work with someone, a colleague, who is a really, really great worker and they are constantly superseding any supervisor's expectations. You may find that you're comparing yourself to them, and in a way that it could be positive is it could be helpful to motivate you to maybe learn from them, or perhaps maybe see in what ways that you could improve and become more similar to that, or maybe even improve better than them. So there's healthy little comparisons there that could help you to improve. It could also be helpful when you downward comparison. And that's when, most of the time when that's helpful is when you are really down upon yourself and you just think you're the worst person in the world. You have things the worst of anyone in the world. When you can acknowledge that there are people that have less than, or there are people who may not have strengths the same way that you have strengths in certain departments of your life, that could be really helpful for your own mental health. So I'm just going to, like I said, I was just glossing over that so that you just have an idea of how it could be positive. But for the purpose of this video, I really want to talk about how it's negative and how we need to really stop. Because many times when we're comparing ourselves to others, it's not in the positive direction and it's not a positive way. My number 1 tip to help you stop comparing yourself so much to others is to limit social media. I did a whole video about this. So social media, realistically, what it comes down to is that a lot of people, most people, put out the things that they want you to see, which tends to be selling their life in a very, very good way, very positive way. Like everything's just great, everything's wonderful, I'm always vacationing, I have so much money, everyone around me is absolutely just, they adore me. And you have all of those types of things that a lot of people put out because that's what they want you to perceive about their life. However, we are with ourselves constantly. So we have the ability to see all of our flaws or even create flaws that we might not even really have. So what tends to happen is that, and I love this analogy, is that we're comparing our bloopers or our worst moments to another person's highlight reel, and it possibly isn't even their highlights. It could possibly be totally made up, knowing social media these days. So when you are able to limit social media, it can really help put things into perspective. 2, self-acceptance. And I know this is a really, really difficult one. And I'm not even expecting that you're going to leave this video and be like, I fully accept myself. Although I would love to see that happen, that does require work. If you currently are at the place that you really are having a really rough time accepting yourself, you're probably in the place with a lot of people, and that's okay. However, I do hope that you work on acceptance of yourself, just as though you probably accept a lot of other people despite their flaws or what you might perceive as imperfections in them or what they perceive as imperfections in themselves. So it's really important to work on learning how to accept yourself exactly as you are, no conditions. And that's really unconditional acceptance. The third tip that I have is to recognize that it's really none of your business. Whatever is happening in other people's lives, that yes, they may be willing to share it and they may be putting it out there and wanting people to see it and share, but at the end of the day, their life is really none of your business. And it could be really helpful when you get to that place of saying, you know what, I mean, that's their life. So be it. If it's great, then wonderful for them. If it's not so good, I'm sorry, but that's not really anything to do with me. And to really be able to distance yourself from that and recognizing that their life is absolutely none of your business. And I know that might sound annoying to think about, or maybe you have some feelings coming up with that, but I hope that you work through that, because at the end of the day, it really isn't. And that could be a really freeing thing when you recognize that. Number 4 is recognizing that you simply don't know their life. And that goes along with what I was talking about earlier, that a lot of people put forth, especially on social media, what they want you to see, their highlight reel. But you might think that this is that person, that the epitome of that person is just everything. They radiate sparkles and they're just wonderful and they have everything that you could possibly imagine. But realistically, you don't know anyone's life. You don't know anyone's life except for yours, and probably you know much better about the people directly surrounding you. But even so, if you are not embodying the person, if you are not genuinely living their life, I don't care how close you are to that person, you really don't know the full picture. So while it may appear as though a friend of yours has seemingly everything, you really don't know everything that happens for them or anything that their life has consisted of before you entered it. You only know as far as they're willing to share and their honesty, as well as what they want you to know. So that's really important when you accept that you don't know everything that's happened in their life. So you really can't fairly compare yourself to them. My 5th tip is to remember or learn that you are more than enough. And I know that is really, really rough, especially if you're watching this video. You probably have a really tough time accepting that, but you truly are. You are a human being, and that is enough for me. And I think that's enough for anyone that is a pure human being, but probably the only person that doesn't accept it is you. Everyone else may recognize that you are more than enough, just as though you may know someone who feels that they're not enough, but you think that they're plenty. You think that they're so more than enough. So it's really crucial for you. And I know this goes along with the self-acceptance, but additionally to recognize that no matter what else everyone else has or what they're going through or what their life looks like, it really, like I said, has nothing to do with you, but also you still are worthy and you are more than enough. Now it's just you accepting that. I did send out a sheet at the beginning of the week for comparisons and trying to help you sort through the comparisons that you have with regards to yourself and others, and finding out whether or not they're functional or positive rather, and also how to work through. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if there was a tip that I put forth in this video that really resonated with you. You could click my face over here to subscribe to my channel, and I wish you less comparing on your journey to finding your state of balance. And I will see you in my next video.